I am a huge fucking nerd. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a Quantum Leap novel. This is where it's getting into really, really geeky territory. This is when you decide how important our relationship is. This is the make or break it point. Because once you get into Quantum Leap novels, there's no turning back. This is the point of no return. So if you feel like this is too geeky for you, this is the deciding point. Right here. Quantum Leap. You may have noticed, if you follow me on any of my social media platforms, that I'm kind of obsessed with this show. Just a little bit. If you haven't seen Quantum Leap, this might be a little confusing to you. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown here. Quantum Leap is a time travel show. Dr. Sam Beckett is a quantum physicist, and he goes into his time machine and goes back in time, and he gets stuck there. And basically he leaps from one person's life to another, fixing something wrong in their life in the hopes that next time he will leap home. His one connection to his time is a guy named Al, who appears to him as a hologram that only he can see or hear, and he uses their computer Ziggy to give him information from the future about what's going to happen and try and figure out what they need to fix. And that's kind of the basics of it. And they did some novels. And the novels were almost all published after the show was off the air, and so they're all sort of things that could take place anytime within the run of the show. I don't know if they're considered canon. I guess it doesn't really matter. The show's off the air now. Anyway, this fucking thing, this novel right here, this one, it's called Independence. Independence. And the whole plot of it is that Sam leaps into the Revolutionary War into one of his ancestors. Now, if you know anything about Quantum Leap, you know that the rules are he cannot leap outside his own lifetime. Except, there was an episode where he did that, and it was called The Leap Between the States, and he leaped into the Civil War in another one of his ancestors, and that was sort of the exception, that he was leaping into a relative. Because it was the 5th season, and they kind of needed to get some ratings. Anyway, I gotta kind of explain that episode a little bit for you to kind of understand this. At first, I thought it was a novelization of the episode, because I'm an idiot. I didn't realize that the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, 2 different wars. Turns out. Okay, so the leap between the states, the whole plot of it is Sam has got to romance his great-great-something grandmother, and get himself together with her, which, but I don't really know. See, that episode confused me a little bit, because I don't know why he would need to get his ancestors together if he already exists. I would think it was something that already happened. This whole romance thing, nothing goes beyond anything very chaste. You know, there's like some dancing, kiss on the hand, you know, but there's no kissing, there's no like, you know, let's not get into this physical territory. It's still his ancestor. He is a direct descendant of this woman. Well, that gets us to Independence. I thought it was just gonna be like a boring spy story. Everyone was kind of out of character, everyone was sort of like angry at each other for no reason. Sam kind of falls into like this old-timey talk that is kind of, you know, he's not really fumbling a lot, he just kind of falls into this very easily, you know, it's not like this is a regular thing that happened, him falling into the Revolutionary War, you know, he kind of accepted this very easily. But what I got was not what I expected at all. I didn't expect this to take this direction. I was completely blindsided by this. Incest. This whole thing is just 246 pages of incest fanfiction, is what this is. Sam falls in love with his great-great-great-great-something grandmother. I don't know what the relatives... I'm just gonna call her his grandmother. I don't really know what all the great-greats are. It doesn't matter. Look, he's just trying through this whole thing not to have sex with his grandmother, and lordy is she trying to get him in bed. And it's not that he doesn't want to, but he knows that it's incest, and they have several pages worth of dialogue just debating whether or not he can have sex with his grandmother. just endless pages of. Every time I think they're moving on to something else, like every time they're like, oh, and then he goes to talk to them about the spies and the British. Then Sam's thinking like, I wonder what Grandma's doing right now. I wish I could get with her. No, don't go in that direction. I mean, he points out that this is incest. It's not like the book is unaware and they're just like, oh, whoops, didn't think of that. He mentions several times that it's incest. But then he's like, maybe we're not that related. I mean, how related are we? Do you think maybe there can be an exception? Maybe I don't know. He couldn't do what she wanted him to, and what he wanted him to. It wouldn't be right. She was a married woman, and his ancestor. Hannah. His insides churned at the thought of her name, and it had nothing to do with hunger. At least, not that kind of hunger. And it's not just him. Al is fucking trying to get him to sleep with her. Like, the whole time he's just like, I do it, Sam. Come on. Like, no, it's my relative. It would be wrong. Nah, come on. It's fine. Just do it and then quit your moral quandaries or whatever. You kidding? Al demanded. This babe looks like a stunner. I owe it to myself to check her out. You're a hologram, Al, Sam snapped. You can't do anything. I can look, Al replied. Boy, can I look. And she can't see me. And she's my relative, Sam added angrily. Leave her alone. Whoa! Al stared at his friend, scowling. Do I detect a note of jealousy here, buddy boy? And at one point, Sam's like, oh, I don't know, maybe this is why I let back to sleep with her. And look, no. He thinks like, he's like, well, maybe it's because I'm supposed to get her pregnant. He thinks like he went back in time. It just became the Futurama episode where he becomes his own grandfather. I mean, like, but this was written in like 1996. This wasn't supposed to be comedic. It was. He's spending his time trying not to think about having sex with his grandma. Like, he's out there picking apples, thinking about grandma's sex. You know, he's out there like, I'd love to get with grandma, but I gotta pick these apples. I can't think about doing it with grandma. And this is kind of a running theme here. The apples remind grandma of Sam after they have a fight that lasts about 10 seconds. And so she decides she's gonna make him an apple pie and then make him do it. There's a lot of pie being eaten in this, and I don't know if that was supposed to be a metaphor for something, but just lots of pie. And she keeps trying to get with him, like she's like, the way that this book tells it, apparently women in the Revolutionary War times, like, just spent all of their time talking or thinking about sex. That's just what she does. Like, she's like, baby and then sex. That's her two primary in cooking pies for Sam. And so she's like pinning him to the wall, like she's nearly like forcing him into it, He couldn't do anything about it. It would be incest. Well, Sam wasn't absolutely sure that this was the correct term for what it would be. Incest covered close family members, but he and Hannah were 200 years apart. They weren't that close, really. I see. She crossed to him, running her hand over his chest. It was a shock and a thrill to feel her touch on his naked skin. And I like what I see. She moved to kiss him again. Hannah, he gasped, squirming to extricate himself. Hannah, there's something I've got to tell you. It can wait, she murmured, pressing against him. No, it can't, Sam insisted, on the verge of panic. I really have to tell you this. Tell me in bed, she replied. Afterward. And like, okay, let's just pretend for a second that this is not his grandma, his relative. Let's just pretend that this is not an incestual story. It's still Revolutionary War times. It's not a particularly sexy time. Like at one point she's waiting for him in the kitchen in a bathtub naked. He just comes in and she's just like, oh, Samuel, did you forget that it's bath time? It's been a week. Like, that's really sexy. Yeah, let's just wash off like a week's worth of grime and dirt together in a sexual orgy of pleasure. What is sexy about that? What is sexy about any of this? And this whole time Sam's like, I don't know why I can't. Maybe it's just a run over from my ancestors. Sometimes he kind of blends with the people that he leaps into. It's like, okay, maybe that's it. There's something about her that he doesn't know what it is. I just can't believe that this whole thing is just the whole thing is about Sam blueballing himself over grandma sex. It's just him desperately trying to avoid incest. Just the whole book. I cannot believe 246 pages of this. Not that there aren't other hilarious things in the story that are completely wrong. Like Al apparently just is an asshole through the whole thing. Like at one point, Sam is abducted and grandma is shot. And then Al realizes the baby has been crying for like 15 minutes because this is sort of a traumatic situation. He goes in to check on the baby and he's like, I hate crying babies. Gone. Sam murders a guy in self-defense, to be fair, which is not unheard of in the show. But then Al just kicks his foot through him. Like, Al's just like, hey, you sadist. What an asshole. Like, no regard for life whatsoever. Like, and I thought he had like a whole thing about dead body, but no, it just kicks through him. And then Sam's got to rescue this guy, and they're going by night, and there's some Hessian soldiers out there. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, whatever, the German soldiers that are working for the British. And Al fucks up as the lookout, and so Sam's got to kill 3 of them in order to escape. So he straight up, he just murders 3 guys with Al's help. And then Sam's like, hey Al, you gotta get us out of here, and please don't fuck up this time. Please just get us out. And then Al's like, boy, what a grouch! He just murdered 3 people. Al, he just murdered 3. Al, 3 people. 3 people are dead.
That was amazing, he gasped, a quiver in his voice. How did you know where to go in this poor light? I have excellent night vision, Sam lied. I eat a lot of carrots.
The guy that Sam has leaped into, his ancestor, who is also named Samuel Beckett, because of course he is, looks exactly like Sam, because this reads like terrible fan fiction. And he thinks that the people at the project are basically British spies trying to get information out of him, so he doesn't want to talk to them. And at one point, he just punches Al and leaves the waiting room. That's how he escaped. He just punches him and leaves the waiting room. Like, top secret government facility, no one even acknowledges that they exist. That's the security that they have. He apparently just punches him and leaves. And this is not like this is unprecedented in the show. It's not like no one had ever escaped the waiting room before. They had like a serial killer who did that once, so you'd think maybe they would have like upped the security a little bit since then. But no, you just punch him and you get out. Tina, Al's girlfriend, is the one to catch him. Because of course she is. She punches him in the stomach and then she shows him a pistol and she's like, hey, if we were the British, we wouldn't have advanced technology like this. Why would we need to question you? Because our technology's a lot better than yours, right? And then she shoots a painting at the end of the room. Why is there a painting at the end of the hallway at the project? I don't know. She shoots a painting and that convinces him that they are not the British. There's a lot of things that are just kind of resolved very quickly. For instance, after Sam is captured, he gets a concussion, and Al cannot contact him, or he can't see him because his brainwaves are scrambled or something. And then Sam thinks that he is Samuel Beckett, the old-timey Samuel Beckett. And this lasts for about 10 seconds as well. He goes back to sleep, and then he's back to normal. Why did that even happen? They call him Uncle Sam at one point, which makes me think that was the whole point of the novel, just to call him Uncle Sam. Cause get it? Cause America, Revolutionary War, Uncle Sam, you get it? Sam's got to use CPR to revive someone who is drowned. Which, hey, that's a good use of the time travel element. He's got some skills that they don't have in the Revolutionary War. So, he gets him out and he performs CPR, and then the guy resuscitates. And then Sam throws out a, live, damn you, live! Like, I've never seen one of those thrown out after the resuscitation, but he had to say it simply because that is something that you have to say in a fan fiction or a TV or a movie after you resuscitate someone from CPR. Live, damn you, live! At one point they realize that they can't get a hold of information on Sam's ancestor because Sam himself sealed up his family records to keep people from peeking? Like, never has he been so paranoid in the show about people finding out personal information about himself. Like, you think, like, when he was getting his picture taken for Time magazine, he's like, I better make sure that I have my records sealed so that no one looks up stuff about my ancestors in the Revolutionary War. Yeah, that could be something bad that gets out from that. Or look at that. Ads right in the middle of it. I've never seen ads in the middle of a book. Ads for Jurassic Park the ride. And Terminator 2, the ride, but also there's more in the back, just in case you didn't see it the first time, and you want to go. Yeah. And you'd think like, oh, okay, well this is set in the Revolutionary War, so maybe even if you have to go through the incest stuff, you're gonna get like some war scenes or some battles, it might be kind of interesting. No, Sam sleeps through the whole battle. What bullshit! So when Sam's about to leap, he's with this hot grandma, and he's holding her tight, and he's like, I wish that I didn't have to leap and I could live with her forever. Because he could just live out this incest fantasy forever, it's fine. And he leaps out, and then they do the final twisty twist at the end. Al is with Donna, Sam's wife. And then they reveal that hot grandma looked exactly like Donna, and that's why he wanted to have sex with her. What? He wanted to have sex with his grandma because she looked exactly like his wife? What? Like of course, someone who looked exactly like Sam got together with someone who looked exactly like Donna, like in the Revolutionary War times, because again, bad fan fiction syndrome. So, is this implying that Donna is distantly related to Sam as well? Is this like a... How far does the incest rabbit hole go? I can't believe this book. This is by far the worst quantum leap novel that I've ever read, was this book. I can't believe that this was published, that people paid for it. Just this whole hot grandma sex fantasy played out just truly atrocious on every level. If you are a Quantum Leap fan, this might be a hilarious read. I'm not gonna lie, it was a hilarious read, but it was so bad. If you feel like you want some Sam's big incest adventure, check out Quantum Leap Independence. You can find it on Amazon really cheap, like for 1 cent probably. That's it. I'm done. Can't do it no more. Quantum Leap.